Welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Beth.
And this is Jayme.
And we're just two oldish, youngish ladies slowly becoming our mothers.
In some ways.
It's shocking.
Not all the ways.
Thankfully. No offense, Mom, but oh my gosh. It is getting older is a trip, I just have to say. And it happens all the time. And I catch myself doing stuff that I'm just like, I lived with my aunt when I was in college, and there were things she would do and I would just shake my head. I was like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? And now I catch myself doing those same things.
Oh my goodness. Can you give an example? Do you even
know?
So
I have a huge example. So I remember living with her and I would go into her like spice cabinet and she would have like 4 of the same spices. And we would go to the grocery store and she would like, I don't know if I have this, and she'd buy it. And then I'd be putting groceries away and she either had that spice or whatever, staple she purchased. There would be some in the pantry already. And I was like, how does she not know what she has? Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, I was at the grocery store and I was like, oh, I want to make this salad or something. And I was like, oh, I need some dill. I'm like, I need some dried dill. I don't think I have any dried dill. I need dried dill. And I was like, I haven't seen dried dill in a long time. I think I bought the fresh dill last time. So I was like, get the dried dill. And so I buy it. I get home. I open up my spice drawer. Guess how many bottles of dill I have now? 3.
Really?
3. One unopened that I had purchased before, and then a new one. I have three jars of dill.
You are not gonna purchase dill again, though.
I don't need it for the rest of my life. But I was shocked because I was like, I already know what's in my cupboard, blah, blah, blah. The number of times I have bought a can of beans, because I'm like, I don't think I have any beans. And then I get home and I have 12 cans of the same bean. And I'm just like, can you please stop? That's your whole bean allotment for the year. Like, you don't buy any more beans.
Well, I can 100% relate to this because I actually returned a flat to Costco because I had of olives. And so normally I will just keep, if I overbuy something that I use regularly because I forgot I already had it, it's, no big deal.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a case of olives, cans of black olives. And I couldn't remember if I had bought them. Or I thought I hadn't. Anyhow, I got home. I had bought them the last time because I don't go to Costco as often as I used to. And so I was like, dude, I can't store this. I can't. And we don't eat a lot of olives. There's just a couple things.
A flat of olives is a lot.
I mean, it's like 12 cans or something. So we just don't go through them very fast. And I was like, I do not want to be storing 24 cans of olives. I mean, that will one thing will probably last us 2 years or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we might use one can every 2 months, just because I don't use them very often. Because, my husband doesn't like olives, and so
there's not a point.
Yeah, and so, but I like them, but not enough to just eat them regularly all the time. Anyways, all that to say, I did the same thing with a case of olives, but I returned the case because it was Costco, and it was an entire case that I didn't want to store.
I had to return, so my drain was plugged and I was going to get Drano, and then I was at the cheap store a few weeks ago and I was like, you know what, we're going to buy the cheaper whatever. I bought some kind of drain solution that had like lye in it and all this stuff and had all these extra precautions that I'd never seen with Drano before, but it was like way cheaper. But when I got home, I got scared of it. And so then I was like, I just want to go buy my Drano. I mean, the difference was like $5 in difference. I was like, we're just going to buy the Drano. And like, it used to be, I would have just kept the other stuff. But then I was like, no, because like, number one, I want my $3 back. Number two, I can't just throw this in the garbage. And now it becomes like a whole like toxic waste removal thing. And I have to wait for like hazard waste day at the local dump or whatever. I was like, no, I'm taking it back. And my old self would have just like schlepped it with me for the rest of my life. And now I'm just like, absolutely not.
Hey, well, you went through a great purge recently. So I think that's how you maintain.
I know.
You just take stuff back. Don't keep it.
Although, like, another thing I'm finding that I'm doing like my mother is I'm hoarding things every once in a while. I'm like, this could have another use. This might make a nice someday.
Yeah.
Like I haven't gotten quite to like keeping my like cottage cheese containers or anything like that. But every once in a while I'll have something and I'm like, this should just go to recycling in the garbage, whether it be a box or I have a big thing about holding on to boxes still,
Still, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, you don't keep boxes, do you?
Are you talking about cardboard boxes?
I'm talking about any nice box. My mom was a box keeper, so it's like you get a nice box, you keep it.
Every once in a while, I will keep a box if it's extra nice, but for thinking about but then I use it
Yeah.
for either storing something, or I did keep something for knowing my kid was going to need it for, it'd be a good one for a project that they're going to have to be required to do. But generally speaking, no, I'm not keeping boxes.
I'm not talking about Amazon boxes. I'm talking about things that come in nice boxes.
No.
Like your cell phone. You don't keep the cell phone box?
Only if maybe I do if it has the number on it or whatever. I try to get rid of stuff.
I know so I was raised in a household that if it came in a nice box, you keep it. And also, like, if you got like a new toaster, you would save the toaster box because one day you might move and need the box to put the toaster in. Granted, my parents never moved, and like they were in the same house for almost 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So I got over that, but definitely like sometimes I still keep a nice box, which makes me think of my mom. I'm like, I hold the box. I'm like, you don't need to keep your cell phone box. That was from 2 cell phones ago. We're going to let it go now. But it's just very much that. Like, or I got a new, like, air fryer or something like that. I'm like, I should keep this box. I used my emulsifier for the first time, my emulsifying blender. Isn't that what they called? The stick ones?
Immersion.
Just kidding. It's an immersion blender, but it emulsifies the stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like using it to... Okay, this is a total...
Is it a frother? Is that what that is?
No. It's like the blender that you can use to like blend up soups and things in your whatever. The immersion blender. It's an immersion.
One, but I think it's just for like frothing.
No. You got to get an immersion blender. It's amazing. Well, I know you have a Vitamix or whatever so that can do the soups, but this is like you can stick it in things. And anyway, I guess I'm turning into my mom too because now I'm going on a tangent. But I saw on TikTok that a great way to get protein into your diet is add more cottage cheese. And so this girl, what she does is she takes her cottage cheese that she gets at the store, she takes her immersion blender and she blends it all up, and then she throws that into food and stuff. So it's all blended and whatever and makes sauces. And I was like, that's genius. And I did it I can't remember what I made, but I did it and it worked really well. And anyway, but I took the blender out of the box. I had never used it before. I looked at the blender. I'm like, we could just store this, in a cupboard. I was like, I'm going to put it back in the box and store it in the box. And I was like, that was a very my mom type of thing to do. So anyway, there we go.
Yeah. I have a lot of similarities to my mom, and of course, a lot of differences. One of the things I have in common with my mom, though, is, and it must be a genetic thing, I think, is a super hypersensitivity to caffeine.
Really?
Yes. And so I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't even drink any caffeinated beverages whatsoever because I can feel it and I cannot sleep at night.
Wow.
So even if I drink it in the morning, I cannot sleep at night, and I have racing heart rate and jitters and just shakiness. And my mom is the same way, although I think she does do tea now. She tells me that she will drink a cup of tea in the morning. And I haven't tried that because I'm paranoid that I'm going to not be able to sleep.
Yeah. Problematic.
It's just interesting because when I didn't realize that my mom had the same thing until later in life. And I was like, oh,
this is where I get it from.
That's where I get it from. Yeah.
Got it honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genetics are interesting.
And also, like, you have so much energy naturally. It's why. I mean, I know it's...
Do I? I feel very tired.
Yeah. But I think it's circumstantial because when you're like not having a lot happening in life that's dramatic and whatever, and like you're just very high energy because you're like, Beth, I did this and this and this, and now I'm going to go dancing for 16 hours.
It is true. I'm always on the go. I am always on the go.
Yeah. And you don't like to sit for very long.
I would like to, but I don't do that.
Yeah. I've seen you though, like in action, and you'll sit, but then you're like, jump up and grab that, or,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, because I feel like I'm always on seeing what needs to be done, and then I do it. But I would like an entire week or more where I don't do. I really want to. I'm craving rest right now. I'm craving just
peace and rest. I get it.
Not doing, like sitting on my couch for a while.
Our family was a family of visitors on one side. So my mom's side of the family are visitors. Do you know what that means?
So you sit and visit.
You sit and you visit. So when people come to town, you're going to sit in a Barca lounger for hours, and you're going to visit. You're going to stand up. You're going to get a meal. You're going to come sit back down. You're going to visit during the meal. You're going to visit after the meal.
Yeah.
Like, I am a visitor.
Yeah.
And I remember one time my his wife came, and we were just talking for a minute. She's like, well, I'm going to go do something now, because she's not a visitor in that same way. And I was like, what? That's an option? That's an option. And just recently I was sitting with someone and I was just like visiting with them, and I'm like, I could visit all day long. And my mom is like, let's just visit, and I try to be better with my friends, like, hey, let's go do something active. But I find myself, I'm a visitor.
Yeah.
And I want to rally against that, but I'm a visitor. I just like to sit and visit and talk. And I visit too much. Yeah. But it just feels very grandma at this point.
Does
Of like,
it?
yeah, I'm like, oh, the best day ever is if you came to my house and we sat on my couch and we visited for hours.
Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty great to me too.
It is great, but it's also kind of like we're a little young to just be visiting as our like peak attraction.
Oh,
like, could we visit on a walk? No, we have to visit in a chair.
Okay. Something my mom does that I think I might be turning into her in this way that I don't want to is that she repeats herself all the time to a very large extent. I mean, she will tell me the same story 18 times in one day, easily. It's bad.
Yeah.
Or the next day, and then the next day, and I'm like, I know. You've told me this. Yep.
Got it.
I mean, she does this. I mean, it's been like this for as long as I can remember. And so anyway, I think I started doing that kind of sometimes.
Yeah.
Or why are you nodding your head like I do?
Not always, but everybody, I mean, I feel like everybody, you don't consistently repeat stories. I'll tell you that. And you don't do long format stories with me. But every once in a while, there's like, you'll repeat something like, I know, you've told me this, but I don't say anything because
I don't want to do that.
No, but I think sometimes you just got to get it out more than once, you know?
I must. It's just on my brain. Yeah. And so then I will say it again. And I don't want to do that.
I'm sorry. It's part of the process of getting older.
Is that, or is it just my mom?
No, my mom does the same thing. I have it on my things in my head too, as my mom is a story repeater and I have become a story repeater. So now, and I visit with so many friggin' people that I'm like, stop me if I've told you this story.
Okay, I need to preface
I do that all
myself.
The time. I'm always like, stop me if I've told you. Yeah.
Because I need to preface it because honestly, I can't remember if I have.
Same.
So.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, I know I've told the same story to the same person multiple times. There have actually been times when I've looked at a friend, I'm like, I need to tell you this story again because I'm not through telling the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fine.
Is it fine?
Is it completely fine? It's completely fine.
If it is.
I was in a mood today because you were coming over and it happens to be on a Saturday. And I was like, I just want to, there's a lot happening in life right now. And so I was like, I just want to clean. I want to deep clean my bathroom. And so I woke up early and I probably annoyed my neighbors because it's like, very early and I'm vacuuming and being kind of obnoxious, whatever. But I was like cleaning the floor and like, it took every inch of me as I made the mop water not to pour some vinegar in because I was just like, that needs some vinegar. And I'm like, no, it has an appropriate amount of actual floor wash. You do not need to add vinegar, but it would be nice to have some vinegar. And I was just like, that is something my grandma did. That's something I remember my mom doing. Like, and it's just like, oh, I just wiped down the countertops. I should put some vinegar on it. I'm just like, stop with the vinegar. Like, stop.
That is a very cheap cleaner though.
I know, but I've already cleaned it. I do not need to now add
you don't need it.
Like the toner vinegar for the cabinet. It's just stop.
Yeah.
But it just cracks me up because I'm just like, well, look, even I was doing laundry this morning, I'm like, I should put a pinch of vinegar in there. I'm like, what is happening?
So do you restrain yourself?
I did this morning because I was like, we don't need to add vinegar. And I didn't actually want my bathroom to smell like vinegar.
Right. Well, the smell of vinegar doesn't linger the same as some
other things. I don't use toxic whatever. I mean, everything's a little bit, in a dose, anything could be toxic. But yeah, but it made me giggle because I was just like, I should get the white vinegar out. Like,
yeah. Do you have a gallon of white vinegar?
I've made my way through that, but I have some, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I haven't used vinegar in a long time.
Yeah.
But I do have a gallon of vinegar.
Yeah. And sometimes just like, what would be great right now? A little vinegar. It just makes the house smell clean. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Do you know what? I went through a phase once where I washed my hair with baking soda and rinsed it with vinegar. For months. And that's the only thing I used, which actually was fine. And my hair did not smell, to my knowledge, until I went to get my hair cut and they used a spray bottle to like wet it.
Oh.
And then all the smell of vinegar came out and I was mortified. I was just like, oh, you can really smell the vinegar, which I couldn't before when it was dry.
But now it's for everybody.
Oh gosh. I think that's the end. That was the end of me using that. And I went back to shampoo. So I have inherited my mom's ability to be a shopping marathoner. We can both shop for hours and hours and hours.
That sounds awful.
I know. It does sound awful.
But you love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so where she lives, she doesn't have the opportunity to shop. So she never shops. And so she saves it all up. Then when she comes to visit me, I take her shopping and we will go, like I said, for hours on end. And then we're like famished. So we got to go get something to eat. And we're just like, eat right back out there.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
let's go. Because she's got, all this stuff that she needs to buy because she hasn't bought anything for however long, a year and a half or so since she's. And so, she didn't bring many clothes. So I recently got to spend time with my mom and she came to visit, which was lovely. And we got to do a lot of shopping and it was really fun. I love shopping with my mom, which is cool. Cause I mean, I don't get to do it very often. Like I said, like once every couple of years, maybe.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I really enjoy that, but it's something I like to do. And I think I might've passed it on to my daughter, probably.
I would believe that. I mean, I've bumped into you guys shopping before.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like something that you both very much enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Well, I've found myself on several occasions now doing something that enrages me when I'm with my mom and she does it, and that's driving under the speed limit. Like I will be with her and if she's slow to excel and then she just takes her time getting up to the speed limit and sometimes she's driving under and I will just be like, I will drive us wherever we need to go moving forward because I feel like I am stalled in space.
You can't handle it when she's driving.
When she's driving. However, recently I've noticed on several occasions I'll be driving and then somebody passes me. I look down, look at that, 5 under on the freeway. I'm like, what are you doing? Which I don't always do it, but especially if like traffic's kind of going or if I'm just kind of doing, don't have anywhere to be, I'm driving a little slower. I also notice too, like I have an intense focus sometimes. Like if I feel like there's a lot of cars around me, I mean, you should always be focused while driving, but it's a little bit much. Like I'm holding 2 and 10 old school style. I know that kind of a little bit and just like really focused. And I have like my RBF on or something. I don't know. So much so that like just so happens my new manager is driving by me and the next day at work he says, wow, like were you okay? Like you looked really focused while driving. I was like, yeah. I mean, I had a little headache happening, so I had a little bit of an excuse, but partially it's like, no, that's just my face sometimes when I drive. Just very focused, looking like a, someone that's terrified and or ready to, drive into you. It's just wild. So yeah. So driving now as someone that is getting slightly older has been a trip because I'm just like, I find too, like my mom doesn't like driving at night. Like she has been at my place before and she's like, I got to go before it gets nighttime. Yeah. And this was like a few weeks ago. It was really rainy and it was nighttime and I was like in an unfamiliar neighborhood and I was like, I'm going home immediately. I'm getting back on the main road. I'm going home because the lights are too bright in my eyes. It's raining. I don't know where I'm at, even though it's the city I've lived in basically my whole life. I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. I'm having to use the map tool. I'm like, I'm out. So,
Beth, you are so bad right now.
So bad.
Oh my gosh. Something that I did, I want to say recently, but it wasn't. It was, a year and a half ago or so. I reminded myself so much of my mom. So we were in Mexico and my dad was having a health crisis and I had to go pick up my daughter and bring her back to where the rest of the family was. And I had to take a bus to go get her because she was in Belize and we were in Mexico and I had to go to the border. It was this whole thing. And in this process, just trying to leave out the majority of the details, we met family members. They brought an Instant Pot and we were going to be bringing this Instant Pot back to the Airbnb where my family was staying because we were going to use it for cooking some stuff for my dad because he had stomach cancer. And so his diet was all, we were trying to figure out his diet and what he could eat and what sounded good to him and whatever. And there was mention of an Instant Pot and how we didn't have one in this Airbnb. And she's like, well, I have one at home. And then the family members coming from home brought it anyway. We got to the border and we decided we were taking the bus back and we had this Instant Pot and it was like, well, we don't have room we can't bring it. And I said, well, of course we can bring it. I mean, if there's any way we can bring this Instant Pot, we can, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. I said, I'll carry this thing. Like I was so determined to bring this Instant Pot no matter what. I literally carried it on my lap. I was like,
you're determined.
I was determined. And so here's where I reminded myself of my mom. My brother said, it's just too inconvenient. We don't need to bring it. We can't bring it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if my mom was here, she would figure out a way to bring this. So I'm going to be like her and I am going to figure this out and I will bring it. And sure, I mean, I carried it on my hip like a baby. It was like my Instant Pot child that I brought. And you want to know what the funniest part of this whole story is? I showed up with the Instant Pot and I was like, I brought it. I was like, I was channeling mom, you know, I had my mom's determination and her vibes. I felt like I was being like her and I brought this and I did it. And it was so funny because once I got it there and told him the story and everything, we just kind of all looked at each other and we were like, what do we need an Instant Pot? It was like, we actually didn't need it.
Yeah.
We didn't even use it. But it was really funny. And I felt like I was being like my mom with this determined, you know, way of making sure I got it done. Just no matter what, I was going to figure this out and make sure we had it because my dad needed it, you know?
How did you get it back?
So then we had a vehicle there and then drove it. So it went in the vehicle.
It was easy back.
That thing was transported across borders. And,
love it.
I mean, it was, never used, but,
oh my gosh.
But it was there in case we needed it because I thought we did.
Oh my gosh. I love it though. It just got in your head like, nope, this is the thing.
Well, and it really did get in my head that if like I was going to be like my mom, I reminded myself of my mom. I was like, I'm going to be like her. I'm going to channel her energy because I know she would get this done, you know? So. And then I felt like I looked like her the way I was walking and everything. I was just like, I am my mother's daughter. And I'm determined to get this Instant Pot across the country.
And you did.
Yep.
You did. So recently I was at my mom's place and she needed help with her technology. And she actually wanted to know how she could listen to our podcast. And I was like, oh, gosh.
I wonder if she's going to listen to this episode.
I don't know. I don't know if she's catching up or not because I'm like, oh, gosh. So anyway, I opened up her iPad and it's just like, there's no organization, right? It's just like, you know, all the icons are everywhere. There's stuff on there she doesn't need because it's synced to her phone and blah, blah. So I'm like, trying to get it all in order and get the front page where it's just only the app she uses on the front page. And like, here's how you get to our podcast. Here's how you do this, all of the things. And, you know, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then she's like, I have one more technological thing to help with. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and it's always been a thing, right? Like anytime it's like the stereotypical, you go to your family's house for the holidays or wherever. And now you're doing all the tech stuff. And like recently there's been a couple times where like, there's been like a new app or a new like social media platform or whatever it is. And all of a sudden I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't understand it. Like I was trying to like Substack has been becoming really popular. So I was like, oh, I want to try Substack and like, oh, maybe we'll do something for the podcast, do some behind the scenes. I opened up the app and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And I was just like, back in the day, something like that would happen. You know, it's like MySpace. You would, you know, we all got MySpace for the most part. And like we started coding and we could do all kinds of stuff with MySpace and nobody taught you anything. You just figured it out or, you know, a friend told you one thing and you did it. Same with like all these other things. And now I'm just like, I don't know how to use this.
Yeah.
I was like humbled. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make sure I keep my tech skills up because I don't want to.
It's really hard to keep up with technology though, because technology is changing at a more rapid pace than ever.
I know, but I still want to like try. I mean, but also like look at how far we've come with technology in our lives. Like we started with basically nothing, you know, and I know I'm still on top of like Chat GTP and I don't even say it right. How embarrassing. But like, but the AIs and the things that the quantums or whatever it is, large computing models. I work with scientists and they talk about this stuff. And I'm like, okay. But I'm just trying to like stay a little bit on it because I don't want to be that person that can't like, it, you know, just doesn't even know how to turn their cell phone on anymore. But
you're never going to be that person.
No, but it just felt, I could feel it creeping in now where it's like, oh, maybe I should ask my intern about this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I feel like that as a mom with my children frequently.
Mm-hmm. It's great. I love it.
Not me, not so much. I'm not a fan. I mean, I don't know. What are we talking about? I'm not a fan of not knowing.
Oh my gosh,
that's not what you meant though.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not a fan of not knowing either. That's exactly what
We're
I meant.
on the same page.
But I love that like the tangent we took was very our mothers and like what's happening again?
Yeah, I just lost it.
What was I even saying? Like I know that happens to everyone, but it is very much as I've gotten older, I'm like holding the remote going, where's the remote again? You know, or
where are my glasses?
Where's my glasses? Any of those things. So anyway. Well, I mean, I'm glad we both love our mothers.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that I got to spend some time with my mom. I wish we lived closer. I wish I could spend more time with her, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. I mean, also at the same time, I'm going to do my best not to turn into my mom, at least for another 10 years. Okay. 10 more
In some
years,
ways,
10 more
yeah.
good years
Yeah.
of just,
Well,
at least trying.
you know what? Like I said, I went shopping with my mom. Here's one more thing. I have one more. We bought some of the same stuff.
Oh my gosh. You're twinning now.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that so funny?
Uh-huh. I mean, it depends on what it is. Are you wearing matching
baggy,
graphic
loose pants.
Okay.
Okay.
Loose.
Baggy pants. We did buy the same top.
Okay.
One of the same tops. And I mean, I'm okay with that because I thought it was cute. And I think my mom dresses cute. I wouldn't, match her entire style.
Yeah.
She bought a pair of Birkenstocks, which are now on my wish list.
Nice.
I mean, just things like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that for you.
Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and would like to support our show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost, so check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.